everybody, and welcome to this new episode of I have made something to improve the frame rate using this update, the quit button. Every function has a few things that to do, and I made them to make the code more clear because each name says what it does. This one are to render the frame rate on the display, and this update screen calls all the functions that I showed you before: quit button, clear screen, display a frame rate, show sprites, and refresh the screen. And these are my sprites that are in this dictionary, so they got the name and they create with the value the sprites. And you see here, cat is the folder and walk is the action that the sprite does. There is two actions for cat and one for dog, that the dog jumps. And so then I initialize Pygame, I create a group, create a font. For font I just use one, and then I have the screen and the clock that uses the window function to return their values. And then I have the while loop that has just one function that is this one, update the screen, and that calls all the function that will be needed to see the sprites on the screen. So I found out that I was making let's say a sort of mistake because I used group to change the animation, but I made some bad use of grouping the sprites every time in every frame rate, so the frame rate was slower than it could have been. So you see it's at 600 with just free sprites. So it was, and if I make a change, I want to show you here. I got my g equal pygame.sprite.group that groups all the sprites into one, calling this this function that for every sprites adds to the group the sprites into the dictionary with all the sprites, and then update the group into on the screen. But making it this way, it is grouping the sprites every time. That maybe it's good if you destroy some sprite, etc. But at the moment I just have these three sprites, so I don't need to add them every time. So I create another function that just update the group to the screen, drawing it and then updating the animation with the update function, and that is above. And then I do instead here add, I call this one I'm thinking to the name, and I choose as name to make it more intuitive, group all the sprites. Group all sprites, so it is literally grouping the sprites into G. That's all it does. So I will call this function to group the sprites just after I create the group. So I create a group, I group all the sprites into G, that is the name of the group of sprites, and then you can see how faster the frame rate goes. It is 1400 instead. Before it was 600, even something slower, 600, 500. So it doubled and even more than doubled the frame rate speed.